You know what? We're going to discuss the astral plane, but not like how everybody always get it. You know, the astral plane, the astral world. It's very important to understand what it is. I'm going to give you a journey that's different so that you get a great idea of all the shit you could do in the astral world. You know, from when I started having my astral experiences, you know, you could say it's a reptilian. It's a spirit, a spirit that came down. Some shit, I don't know if you want to say unlocked in me. For me, it was some type of entity or being that came inside of me, and I wound up finding out that it was a reptilian. And, you know, I'm like stuck. At first, just feel like you're not yourself. You feel something is inside of you, and it starts seeing things. You get these orbs that it's not actually orb-like. You start seeing, they call it melancholy. And this melancholy feeling now makes you start seeing in a microscopic way. Hello. And this microscopic way is best described like, you know, when you take some acid or go on a trip with some ayahuasca, and everything you look at it like the marble floor, it starts spinning like little dots, and then all of a sudden the dot get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like it opened. That's the parallel. That's the invitation to the other side. And everybody who gets into the Tuat or the underworld, those is the start of your ascension or your awakening. It's also like judgment for you. You're going through your own judgment day. It's in all movies, you know, that one with Arnold Schwarzenegger where he first is sleeping and then he wake up, you know, and his woman is against him, his friend ain't his friend. All that is describing that shit. That's what that's about. So once this spirit comes down on you, the Anunnaki, which is who you really are, I don't know, for me, it started making me go research back in ancient Mesopotamia, Babylon, you know, try to go further back. And it ain't me. I'm not into that. At that time, I started watching a lot of conscious videos. I started coming across the fact, oh shit, there's this conscious thing going on. And so I'm seeing Sonetta and all that, and I'm watching, you know, different brothers. Like, I love this nigga, Brother Polite and Pharaoh. He's a prodigy, you know what I'm saying? And when I was watching all of this one that came down on me. So it's like it took me away from all that conscious thing that I'm like, wow, this is better than fucking TV. You know, I'm just popping up on this shit right here, and everybody's battling and you learning at the same time. Yo, the conscious movement will help you, man. Let me tell you, it was like the stepping stone to my awakening, because it took place right around that time, watching all of them, learning and all that. So more power to everybody out there teaching the conscious knowledge. Now, when this started happening and I awoken, it took me away from that conscious learning, and I started all of a sudden researching pictures. And it was bugged out. Like, I would look at a picture of a statue or a hieroglyph, and it start just coming alive. It's like the lines in between it start opening up. And I'm staring, and that melancholy spinning thing that I'm telling you in the eye, the microscopic start kicking in. And so now it's like it take your vision from being right on the picture, like you're looking at a two-dimensional picture, to like a three-dimensional picture start coming out of it, where you're looking in between the actual picture that you're seeing two-dimensionally and the air. It's like it come between the air and the lines. And once it came in the air, it was like now I'm looking at a four-dimensional hologram. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it's coming towards me. It's coming towards me, the whole image, till I'm in it and it's overlapping me. So I'm seeing lines in between lines going between me, but I'm there. I could actually see things moving, and it's like actions start taking place like it occurred at that moment, at that time. If it's an image of some construction man swinging a hammer, all of a sudden he's swinging the hammer again, and everything is moving like a crazy type of way, but it's moving. You could get it. So I started seeing this now, but at the same time, for me, I'm under some type of possession. Something got me. And the way this thing got me, it's like it's a standoff. I'm not letting it go because I'm thinking it's gonna take my soul, and it's not letting go either of me. So it's sleepless days now. Days. I'm in states of like being up for maybe 1 or 2 days at first because I was afraid to go to sleep. Why was I afraid to go to sleep? It didn't just occur like that. This is all part of the astral world, the astral projection, because this is part of the invitation, what happens. What wound up being the prime factor for me was now that, like I said, I'm going into these places by just staring at the pictures. It's making me go to Egypt. Not Egypt, it was Babylon more, Mesopotamia more, like the old Al-Qaeda, the shit that they niggas live in mountains and all that. The reason why was when I lay on my back, I started laying on my back staring up at the ceiling, and the ceiling will change to like a mosaic image. It's like your eyes, after a while, that same microscopic vision could turn into a projector and project some type of magnetic energy. I know how to do it now. I know what it is. It's like the same way when you sun stare all the time. You get this glare in your eyes. So if you're able to squint just a little, you will see the glare become a magnetic field. It's like a gold glow or a bluish glow. With that now, this is where you travel as a subatomic particle into light, into one ray of light, or what would look to you like your whole ceiling changed to a mosaic, a crazy design, or just a wave like you in a unified field. Once you're able to see that, then what wind up happening now, it's like you come out your body, you feel yourself shrinking down into a smaller you, like an adamant feeling, or you're sinking in the bed. Once you start feeling that now, all of a sudden, you're gonna start feeling your heartbeat going faster, boop boop, 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 boop boop. So much that like if I was standing still, you see it just going like this. The whole, it's not just in your heart now, your whole body is vibrating at that frequency. So it brings up your whole nervous system, and all your levels. You're gonna feel type of like, kind of strange. At first I didn't like it. That's when I thought it was a possession. By then I'm ready to run out the house. But after a while I learned to, let it flow. So I would let it go, and all of a sudden I was like in this darkness. My eyes would just slowly like flitter, like flaps closing, to just reveal everything but just a little bit of light in there. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit of light had intelligence to it because it animated itself to tell a story, to show what it wants. So in investigating, it was like it would make me contract my eyes to just one particle ray of light. And then this ray of light now will project like a cell. It's like a cell. So you got a cell with the bezel around it, and then the circle with the center there. In the center, it projects, poof. You're looking literally, if you want to see what I'm exactly talking, just look at your own eye. The way it's set up is still set up like the same cell, just like the cell on your skin. It's all set up the same way. So with aligning your eyes with any cell, or what we call a light ray, you actually put in a cell to a cell, or like you could say, a fiber optic connection. With this fiber optic connection that I'm talking about now, you're going like on a surreal journey into a whole nother world. So it seems like you're leaving, or all of a sudden this reality break and it's not there no more. In psychology, they say that you tapped into your subconscious mind, or the Akashic records. So now that I was able now to get into darkness, and I'm in this dark cave, like dark area, I soon realized it wasn't a cave, because you see it, you had a cave entrance, you walking into the cave. So now you go into the cave, but there's things in there. You just see eyes, a bunch of eyes on the wall as you going through this cave. But now at first it was totally dark. Because now every day now, I would stop. I would only do it for maybe a good 5 minutes, 10 minutes, then stop, because I was afraid, like, what the fuck is all this shit? And to be honest, while that is occurring now, every time I went in there and saw eyes, when I came out of meditation, I saw eyes all over my room. So I'm tripping out, I'm going crazy, I'm losing my mind, until, I kept sun staring, and the sun staring made the insides of me lighter. And as I was able to see more, I was seeing reptilians, grays, aliens, the shit that they was in the beginning stages. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I was so scared and nervous, I didn't know what to do. And I went and got exorcism, all that stuff, but it's not about no religious righteous shit. This is just seeing more of the electromagnetic spectrum. So now, being that I'm exposed to more of what's going on in our reality, and I realize we're in a parallel world that is more things occurring, overlaying us. We're just a very dense substance that is too big and heavy to see everything else, because energy is not very solid. You can't see it. So we being the full solid version of energy, we don't get to feel all the subtle levels of it. And the subtle level is what create the solid level. So anyways, now on that note, I'm going into these places, and it's like I had to overcome my fear. So how did that I get to overcome my fear? I'm always dealing with the spirit 24/7. I mean, I'm cut off of the world. I can't go to work because I'm tripping out. I'm feeling everybody's emotions and feelings before actually they speak or whatever, and it feels very uncomfortable. So I wind up just stop working and staying inside, locked in with this little orb light that is just bothering me, fucking with me, and I can't get rid of it. So now, once this orb light once I started being able to see what was going on and not be so afraid, I started being a little bit brave. So I got angry. Anger was the key to it all. Once I was like, yo, fuck it, whatever this is, you're not, and I'm like, I changed. I went from like a little happy-go-lucky American boy or whatever to a fucking warrior. All right, let's sit down and talk. What the fuck is this, and what's going on, and what am I gonna do? And I know death was the end of it, and this shit is holding me till I fucking die. And I'm like, look, I'm not gonna let you go, and you're not gonna let me go, so we're gonna have to live with each other. Fuck this. So now I take all the jokes and playing out of me, and I realize I'm a part of something real. So I would go and fucking sit in the mirror, especially at night, because at 5 o'clock was when the problem started that made me started awakening. I'll be good in the daytime at first, but once 5 o'clock come, my whole nervous system starts shaking. Paranoia come over me. I'm scared. I'm getting like under the covers, laying on the floor, putting a sheet over me. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It was like the movie Dusk Till Dawn. Something was happening at 5 o'clock. It's like I was transforming, or a bunch of spirits would come up and start messing with me. I could literally like see them in like the air. Like it's like you watching the Predator shit where you just see an outline of it. And I will push my eyes and push to see so hard, and out of fear, I would see these things, these like lizards, these blobs, these dragons, these cowboy looking men, these different entities of all type, and they just seem to want to fuck me up. They all just want me, and I could not sleep. I'm sitting up. If I try to lay down and go to sleep, two would hold my feet, and the other will hold me by the back of my head and push my head down into the pillow, and they'll try to pull me through my wall. And I'm trying to get up and get out, and I can't till I bust out that shit and get up. I be getting up and spit at them and a whole bunch of crazy shit trying to get them, then go get my candles. It was the only thing that helped me was when I lit candles. Just for the record, how candles work is if there's some bad energy or negative energy in the presence of your house, or if you're under some type of possession. What's up, brother? All right. If you're under some type of possession or something, get yourself a white candle. White candles are neutral. Once you get that one, if you have spirits, that negative spirits in your house, any type of spirit or good spirit, any energy. When we say spirit entities, we talking energy. So it's like a blob of energy. If you look through your camera and aim it towards that position, it'll just show like a static or extra bloop. It'll be blooking. I do it in my videos. If I focus hard and do my meditation, you will see my face start shifting and transforming. It's the energy coming, and it'll just keep doing that. Where it's like pixels now. Your face turn into pixels. It's not when I upload a video, shit. I could record a video right now, like how clear this is, and if I do it and induce it, it will show pixels like if this was uploaded 3-4 times already. But that's how the energy works. So you can use your camera to see these things if you know how to spot them. It's just going to be some disruption of energy within the room. Just look around and you can spot it. Once you're able to spot it, then like I said, you'll feel it too. You could sometimes see it in the kids. Sometimes they'll be telling you they see things around the house, they feel these things, or they just act out in ways that's not themselves. So you could be able to tell. So you just would get the candle and then light it in the room, whatever room they're in, or you know, the living room, each room if you want to. And the thing is, you will see the results. If it's a possession or there is spirits there or negative energy or any energy, the candle won't have no wax dripping. The reason why is because these spirits eat the wax. They are energy, like how you see waves in the water. It's not actually now water having waves in it. It's the force of pressure acting upon the waves that cause those imprints into it. So it's actually in the air. The air is the one that caused the imprints in the water. So it's the same thing. Like you look at the clouds, you don't see dragons and actually the shapes of the clouds. The clouds is like if you threw up powder into the air with predator there and it reveals what's there. So the clouds is just revealing the energy sequence of the shape of the form of the entity that you see in there. And it's there. It influences on us psychically. We can't escape them because it's part of how we're invented. Lord Enki is psychic. And so it's our psychic system from the first part when we was not in physical form, when we were shadow being, and psychic energy or electricity, if you want to call it, and magnetism was what we used to communicate and actually travel through as far as navigation. But you know, we came a long way since then. That was millions upon millions of years ago, and we keep falling more into density and density. Eventually we're going to be rocks. You don't understand. We was higher beings, lighter beings. As our DNA drops, we become more solid. We're at 4 strands right now. If we don't raise our consciousness, we're going down to 2 or 3 strands. You got to realize, like I said, your strands make you see or have perception of the dimensions. A 4-strand DNA give you a 3-dimensional reality. You got to understand this, brother. This is very real. This is deep. For you to get an idea of this, how I work, it's more easy if you knew what color and lights did. It's the only form of healing. It's how we connect our DNA and our genetics, how we activate them. So if you want to see what I mean, like light itself is our spit, it's our semen, our cum, our tears. That's actually light, just in a solid form. So now you take that light, and it has to do with actually how we was able to invent ourselves, activate our DNA through this light. And so if you don't understand it, you're not getting enough light, or light is not responding with you good enough. It will lower your genetics braiding. It will make you not able to perceive anything. And so with that, your consciousness goes into a lower state of being. Once you get into a lower state of being, it's hard for you to understand, comprehend, and just be a victim to what society is doing. So now back to the story. Now, once everything started coming to me and I started realizing what was going on, it was more now of me trying to unite. And so me taking the mirror, excuse me. Oh no, my bad. I'm skipping about the candles. I didn't mean to jump over, but you know me, I'm everywhere. I would have got back to it. But back to let's go to the candle first, because that's important. And you know, it's on the journey. So once I realized that, like, say you leave the white candle in the room and you start burning it, the energy of the spirits, they're going to eat the wax. So no wax is going to flow from the candle. It's just going to continually be taken off. They like right there picking it up and eating it. It's bugged out. So you have a tall ass candle And when it finished burning, it'll be no wax. It'll just be a candle there after all of that. That means you're possessed, your house is possessed, or whatever. If you was doing it for yourself to see if you're possessed and you're in the room with it and it happens, you're possessed. Yes. If you're trying to see if it's the room and the same result happened, then your room is possessed. So now how you go about it is if you now burn a candle and you see like images in the candle, such as shapes, forms, that's now mean there was something in your house and you caught it, or something was in you and you caught it. Now, if you burn the candle and the wax is all smooth, laid out nice like cement, or a nice piece of pancake, it'd probably be 2-3 of them laid out. That's usually the pattern. It's nothing there. You're clean. Everybody's clean. That's how you would determine it. Now, if you have the one where there's no wax running from the candle and you're possessed, you got a problem. So now, usually, they're not going to allow you to take it off of them. You have to break them. You break them through fear. Usually, this is from the succubuses or the spirits we do entertain, and they feel they have a divine right to you. But they also now, if you're unconscious, is what influences you to do stupid shit, or whatever you think your mind tell you to do, or what they tell you to do. But in reality, they're in control, and they got you thinking you're in control. So the first thing you want to do now is set up a trajectory, a triangular trajectory to break their energy, because one spirit is in 3. It's 3 of them at one time. So what you will have to do is set up a triangular trajectory of 3 candles, 3 white candles. In this case, if you're possessed, I advise you first to try 1 black candle. 1 black candle will take them out and break them. You understand? You will see a nasty image come out in the candle. Sometime a fucking statue of a being come out in the candle. You got his ass. Then you're good. And now, if that don't work or you can't get it to a black candle, take 3 white stick candles, regular ones, and just light 3 of them in a triangular shape. That should break their spirit and trap them into the candle. How it works is because inside our DNA is plasma. We're plasma in our pure form, light. And so they're attracted to light in the form of what's called plasma. That's like, you know, the shit that destroys everything. It's the most powerful form of light. It's energy, strong, concentrated energy, like a Dwarf star. So this plasma now is replicated in candles. It emits infrared just like our body emit black light, or the black body, which is infrared. And so they get confused between a human being and a candle. In reality, they're more attracted to the candle than a human being, and would naturally just gravitate towards the candle. And then once they get there, the wax trap the energy, and that's where you get the imprint in there. So really, that's what you're doing when you're using the candle. It's like you're substituting your body for a better body to them. But some of them be on you, and they're not gonna leave. They're known to stop the candle wax. They stop it, so there will be no wax for them to fall into. It's bugged out. Try it. I advise everybody. Leave a comment if you try it and what happened with you. Let me know if yours is clean. Did the wax eat it? And you know, break it with the triangular. Now, if it's you that's under possession and you're feeling schizophrenia, anxiety, all these feelings, you do the triangular. You use 1 candle, but put your hand in a triangle. I can't do both, but just put them together like in a triangle, and then you would have to say some type of prayer or scare them out of you. You can't be a punk. You can't be soft. You can't just talk like if you know, oh, my Father art in heaven. Or a lot of people use the Psalms 23. It works for a minute. It might work one time if you know how to do it. How you know it's working? You feel chills, your goosebumps, your hairs will stick up on your skin. And sometimes people start throwing up, vomiting, farting on themselves, all types of crazy shit. That's the spirit trying to stay, but it has to leave. So you have to yell, scream. Even for me, when I started going through it, I had to learn that none of this shit work and write my own spells. That's how I became a master at writing spells. I write any kind of spell real quick, instantly, my own shit. I don't have to read nobody's book. But how it works is that you can make up anything you want. Some people talk in tongues and go boom shakalaka boom, because it's actually, you don't know what language you're supposed to speak to them, but your consciousness do, and you just let yourself go, and all of a sudden you start talking in tongues. It's like when you fucking some good pussy, all of a sudden she start talking in tongues while you fucking her. That's how good it is, because that spirit came out in her. It's in her already. We have millions of spirits in us, not thousands, millions. And so it's which one you pay attention to. And so once you realize that you can control that, you will be able to take off the possession. Usually these is the succubuses that get on you from sexual stuff, or you just being around your best friend too much, hanging out with them. That shit rub off on you. You become them. But it's not really you. And you doing that, you make your soul or spirits disassociate from you and leave you alone. So you like a yes ass nigga, a gopher nigga. Like you see them niggas on the block that only know how to run, go get the packs for the lieutenant, because that's what they do. They don't have no soul in them. They took that from them, clowning them, telling them this nigga ain't real and all this, fucking with him, because he was actually taking him through boot camp to fuck with his mind, to make him weak and want to follow him. So now he do anything he say until that nigga get into some shit and he falls, and his weaknesses now become dude's strength, and he steps up on him. So it's the same thing, but we don't gotta do all that demonic shit. That shit wasn't meant for all that. That's that animal survival shit. Okay. So now anyways, once you learn the candle techniques and be able to bind, you're not only binding spirits, you're doing something divine. This is the first part of in the book of Gates, in the Amtuah, when he says that whoever binds these spirits, they will have favor with them, and they will always protect them, not just in this life, in the afterlife too. Now, by now, if you had got into a situation like that, I'm pretty sure most of us turned to Bobby Hemmett. Bobby Hemmett helped me out too at that point. And you see, the thing is, a lot of us have to embrace that dark side, because it's not there to possess you or to get you. You're from that side too. Just like you have a light father, you have a dark father too. And so you have to embrace, you could say Horus and Set. You can't just embrace one, because they're part of a system. Remember, Ra is the sun traveling through the Tuat. He has Horus with him, and neither one of them can make it without Set. And Set is supposed to be Horus's enemy. So you got to understand, this is more deeper than we think. So when it comes 5 o'clock and we go into the underworld, which is the night side of the tree, you're going under your penis and going back up your side. The tree is flipped upside down. This is where your night lessons come in. This is the movie Dusk Till Dawn, where everybody turned into zombies. I tell you, that's why I was feeling sick at those hours, and I had to learn how to bind. Once I learned how to bind, the energy didn't actually leave. It's there, but they don't fuck with me, and they're there for my help. They're my familiars now. They become my protection. So anything happen to me, it takes care of it. Not in the sense of how y'all do. This is godly. Godly way, or we're gonna make up a new term, Chaldean. What's the other word I was gonna say? We're gonna just leave Draconian. Chaldean, Draconian. You know why? Because that's where it came from. Draconian, not because of Draco and this and that. Draconian meaning the first, the most high, the first constellation to be in this dimension was the Draco people. They had the same shit set up like this, even way more technologically better. So put it like this, Draco was almost billions of years ago. And so you got to realize what we're doing now is nothing compared to what was already here. They've been have all the science and the Jesus shit and all that from back then. So it's just passed down. Banking systems, all that shit. The banking system, the Illuminati, they paid to the Draco still today. It should go out to other places, other dimensions. So you got to realize there's a lot more going on here than we think. So, but Draco or Chaldean magic, or what we call Sumerian, is the truth. It's the real first ones, because you could tell it's only 3 words. 3 letters make up their shit. Most of their shit is 3 letters. That's how shit started off, with 1 letter, then 2 letters, then 3 letters. You know what I'm saying? So I-A-O would be the actual first word for God. From, if we want to go back to the earliest of it, which is Chaldean, Sumerian, not Sumerian and y'all Sumerian like y'all think. No, I mean Anunnaki. You know, like the Ramadash and all that stuff. Not in the actual fake Zachariah Stitchian or the historical Samaritan shit. That's all fake. That's not real. That's government put there. But there is the real magic shit, the science, the occult knowledge of the Chaldean and the Sumerians, or what we call the Anunnaki. It's not even called Sumerians. It's called Anunnaki science. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're talking about, the real shit. So with that now in mind, this is how you learn candle binding and eat. And you know, when I learned that, and I read it in the Book of Gates, I also read it from the Egyptian magician, where it was a magician who actually, you know, took the candle wax and made an animal into it, put it in the water, and it turned into the dragon. And so I learned all of this, and it became a part of me, you know. And so with that, I also learned from the meditation now to go into my own self. So at night, when it's dark, and this after 5 o'clock, and we're on the night side of the tree, I started learning how to take the mirror. You know, this is the Astral way of doing it, how they did the Solomon goatee, or the mirror Solomon, which is like a dark mirror. You don't make it too straight up. It has to be kind of dark. And so you were able to turn off the lights and probably have some type of light source, not too bright. You see yourself, but not in a full view of definition. It will be like an opaque, translucent you. So to your mind could take it and twist it around and make it whoever it wants. Sometime out of it, it'll be just a dark shadow face. But, you know, your mind will make your eyes squint, and it'll turn just into eyes. It'll turn into a dragon. It'll turn into a reptilian. It'll turn into you in your first life. It'll turn into a woman. It'll show you everything you want. Now, when you're in there, it's not like you're going to talk. Somebody's going to talk to you and you listen and you respond. The way it works, all of a sudden, information start coming to you intuitionally. And once you align yourself with this information intuitionally, you also align yourself with learning how to be your intuition, which is that spirit, that Draco, the Anunnaki that comes onto us, that awaken your reptilian brain. And so once you align yourself with it, y'all having a communication. It's telling you stuff. Like for me, just what I told you, how to unite yourself with it. All right, now when I go in to look in the mirror, I'm scared to death. And I'm looking and I see myself first, but I'm flashlining and flash. And I would see like an old man come in. And then I would see a sinister looking motherfucker, this nigga looks sinister. Then I would see like a young warrior. Then I would see like another me. And so I learned to make it so that I don't flash. Hold it. You got to keep fucking with frequencies in yourself, and you will see a hole. Then all of a sudden it's like moving, waving, and he's there. Then you lock, your face lock, everything lock, you can't move no more. And so now it's like you establish communication. So I'm like, who the fuck are you? What do you want? And so it's like, it's not gonna say anything. It only can answer yes or no and show you things. So it started like, first just me looking and asking and getting things that I needed to know, like, you know, it's nothing crazy, but it was the scariest thing in the world to see. So now that I'm getting a little familiar with it, so it's telling me I have to journey through the mirror or into those dark worlds, the underworld. Now, here go the thing, I'm too afraid to go, so it's letting me know you can't make it though. So what it start telling me is like, I'm gonna teach you how to overcome your fears using the mirror. Yes, brother. All right. What's up? All right. So now, what wound up happening is, I would look in the mirror and it'll show me each different species, each different being. With me seeing each different being, I used to shriek like, oh, jump, and just keep being afraid and break the whole meditation. But then I wasn't qualified to go into the Tuat, the underworld, real astral projection because of this. I'm scared. It's not like entities is in my room. It's in my mind that way because of what I experienced. Post-traumatic stress is kicking in now. It's kicking my ass. You understand what I'm saying? So I have to figure a way how to get this out my psychology, meaning stop replaying it in my head and still go forward because it's a way more stronger, deeper journey ahead of me. And so with that now in mind, I wind up, he kept showing me the faces till I learned how to take a deep breath and pull myself together. And it didn't seem so scary. I learned to compress my abs and suck it in, and fear did not overwhelm me, and I was able to start my journey through the 2-eye. I seen some of the scariest creatures in the world, and there's thousands of them. Meaning, when I say creatures and these scary things, there is nothing in the universe that is not alive, that is not moving. So if you're in the air walking, you will see faces popping up. They're just popping up and twisting over like clouds. It's what you would call matter or spirit. You're in that substance. And so the trees is alive. The leaves in the trees is alive. The limb on the trees is alive. Everything is a living thing. If it's a bump on the tree, the bump is alive. The rock is a moving being. And so you start recognizing everything in the universe as alive and living. This is what's called the astral world. Ether 9. That's what we live in. You know, Albert Einstein tried to say that there was no such thing as ether. That's how he came up with the theory of relativity. And so all that gets thrown out the window now because another scientist proved that ether exists. So we are ethereal beings. With us being ethereal beings, this also shows that the heliocentric view of how they see the universe is we traveling through the sun, traveling through the Milky Way, circling it every 52 million years old. It's felonious. That's not true. We're not in no moving earth that's just moving around. The earth is not moving around. The sun is not moving around. The universe is moving around us. That's what ether do. It don't stay still. It's constant movement, but we're not moving. I just want y'all to understand that. Y'all will get that later. That's why NASA locked us out of space. They know that. And they know people was going to figure that out eventually too. So we have no access to space. When they show y'all it's Mars, Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, it don't look nothing like that. Go watch on YouTube any video about seeing Saturn, Pluto, the real ones, what stars look like. They don't look like those. They look like cells. Everything in space is cells. We're in something. So, I just wanted to tell you that now so that you understand. We live in a dome. When I say a dome, like the earth, there's a glass thing around the earth. This glass thing around the earth now make it that the earth, when you see the sun, it's actually just a lens flare, like you took a magnifying glass and aim it on a glass and you're seeing a blur through it. It's not actual. You can't see the sun. The sun itself is a cell. If you was to see it, it's a black cell. But what we're seeing is reflection off the dome. That's why you see the Ouroboros come down onto us as it do. You see? And so there is something over us causing a magnetic static disturbance that is giving us these reactions that causes these flares of lights that we see in the atmosphere. But don't let them tell you what we're in space and all this other shit, which we are, but there's a glass dome that is inside here that makes these reflections. These light sources is not in it. You understand? I just wanted to let y'all know that. But anyways, now back to this astral world. Once you get yourself able to understand that scary part of it, I know a lot of people astral project, but those is mental projections, like you predict where you want to go and you go see your aunt, your cousin. Those is more called remote viewing, not astral projection. You understand? Astral projection is leaving your body, but where you leaving your body to, you don't know. So where you going? You don't know. You have a destiny. Yes, you do. Are you the one that plans your destiny? No. So you just show up to class and then your teacher will be there to teach you. So that's how astral projection works. You just go and be there. You just project out your body and your teachers will appear. Maybe you could be astral projecting for a year and they just making you learn how to move, how to travel, but you didn't get pulled into the underworld until you come across a dragon. Once you meet the dragon, he's what's called a portal. He's a cell, a actual one ray of light. And through him now you go up to the heavens, the higher dimension. He's the lowest dimension on the call, but he's the first part. He's the only thing called the wormhole. That's why you see the Egyptians stabbing either the serpent that's so long and coily or the dragon himself, because it's actually the teleportation device like the World Wide Web. So once you get to meet the dragon, you're not just going to be astral projecting no more. You're going to be taken to Lilith. Lilith now is going to come, if you're a male, have sex with you. Somehow, like how you see Akhenaten or the pictures of the pharaoh sitting in their chairs on their throne with their hard penises, that's what's going to happen next. You're going to get a sexual encounter with an entity. If y'all don't know, it happened to me. I was a star, and it's the same thing as saying the story of Sargon. Sargon said that he became a god because Ishtar, when he was sleeping one day, came and had sex with him and made him a god. The same shit happened with me. There was a star being, I'm sitting in the chair, and it came down, and all of a sudden it told me to just sit there, and I'm looking, and all of a sudden it floats down onto my boxes, and when it gets to my boxes, to the head of my penis or whatever, yo, I see my shit stand up to 12 o'clock midday out of nowhere. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. From it stood up at 12 o'clock, it just started going up and down and shaking up and down, moving to the side, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, the shit was incredible. And just for the record, I do have videos of actually that taking place, where it's even times when I'm sleeping and it's nothing, you know, to arouse me or whatever, so it could be dead, but it's up in the air like somebody's holding it, and it's leaning to the side, and it looked like something is taking it, and I'm like, get the hell out of here. When these started occurring, that was in the beginning of my projections with Lilith. It was because it starts off of you being lack of energy. You're not all the way connected. So if you're not having enough energy now, you have to have some type of stimulation to stimulate certain currents in you. And so through the sexual energy, they're able to activate you so that you could project, you could see what they're showing you, because it'll be dark like when you close your eyes and just have your eyelids open and looking at your dark. But it's full. It's a lot of things going on, but you're not going to be able to see it until you able to stimulate yourself. So that's why a lot of people just used to stimulate themselves to get in the astral world. Just like they tell you having sex or tantra is when you become united with God. That's a fact. That's the only time your ass motherfucking leave your conscious mind of what the Europeans told you is English and what this is, so that you could be free to be who you are, which is energy, nothing. And so when you engage in sex, that's what happens. Only when you're coming is the point where you release yourself, and you just release yourself from your body and you're in another place. It's not everybody that get this experience, but if you have the right partner, that's the experience you're supposed to have, and that's what Tantra is about. It teaches you that. It also teaches you not to come. You have sex, but you don't come. You come within yourself, but you don't exhaust or ejaculate your semen, because your semen has to run up your spade bone of your hips and connect to your spine, go up the marrow all the way up to connect to your pituitary gland, to your mammillary gland, to your reptilian brain, which connects to your your pineal gland. And once that activate, your third eye activate. Just start to squint and squeeze in. And when you close your eyes in meditation, your eyes ain't closed, your eyes is open. This is your eyes now. You can't close your eyes. So closing your eyes don't render you not seeing. It just renders your pineal gland on, and you're looking in another frequency of this world where you're a part of. When I first started seeing this, it was the scariest thing in the world. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to experience it. But it was real, you know? And so the more I meditated, the more I got in touch with these other side of myself, the more I was seeing things that I didn't want to see, including like when I put my hands over my eyes like this, which is still the cells or these subatomic particles showing you the underworld or the other side. You can't avoid it by covering your head, closing your eyes. It's in everything. It's under everything. It's a part of everything. You could use your hands. You could go underwater. You could cover it with a rag, your sheets. It's under there. It's in there. It's overlaid in you. You can't get rid of it. You have to face it. So I did all of that, and I couldn't close my eyes. The only way you could get rid of it is by watching TV, paying attention to other people, listening to music and bobbing your head. Anything but slow down and chill. Once you slow down and chill, it'll pop up. And you will see a lot of people right now. What's up, brother? I'm recording right now. I'm gonna catch you another time, all right? All right? All right, so, right now, if a lot of people, they're avoiding the truth of their reality by always keeping themselves occupied, clean and sweep and running around, engaging in a relationship because of these things. They come on to you and they do things to you, so they don't want to face it. And when they slow down, they don't want to face it either. So they take medication, pills, always getting drunk, always acting belligerent beyond themselves because these things is what's waiting for them and they refuse to face it. It's now becoming a once in a while nightmare that yes, brothers, how you doing? All right. That they only face once in a while if they ever get some time to be alone and no TV and actually at peace with themselves. Aside from that, they keep themselves active, communicating, socializing, getting drunk, always doing something because that's what's waiting for them when they stop. So those that take the journey usually be some hermetic shit. They follow a hermetic lifestyle and they actually face it. That's your typical witch. If you look at your witch from back in the days, that was her path, and she was the healer, just like the woman started all this healing and magic stuff, because she was closest to God, like Mary Magdalene. She's the one that is the interpreter of everything Jesus said. If you look at the apostles, they didn't understand what Jesus was saying. It was like parables to her. But Mary Magdalene was the interpreter, and that's the message they was trying to convey. That's why when he came back, he goes to her and tells her to go tell them to meet up at this place and I'm going to come through, because they couldn't understand him. They couldn't see him. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to understand the woman's position is a high position, but she have to be up to par. She has to be prepped. She got to get rid of her whoring Babylonish ways, meaning she can't be no woman that follow another God. Her God is built in her. Once she starts saying she worshiped this and she believed this, she adding English principles to her own self. Her beliefs is in herself, and until she accepts that, she's not ready. She's always going to be seen as the whore of Babylon, because they look at it, the whoring ways would be like if God made you, and he created you, he provided for you, but you see that getting a job, going to Christian church and praising and taking in politics is going to help make your life better, sustain you, give you food, shelter, a car. You was a fucking whore. You sold yourself out for those material things instead of suffering and going through the struggles that you have to do. So that's what the whore means. And the whore, they had it equated to Israel, and that's what everybody don't do. They talk, I'm an Israelite, and Israel, I'm a child of Israel. But you gotta realize, motherfucking kids of Israel read Hosea on, Joel, Amos, the last books. God denounced them. He said, fuck Israel, they're no longer my children, and they're going to be crushed. That's how the Old Testament ended. They got crushed, and they're no longer favored by God. We read in the beginning of the story. What happens at the end? They're not down no more. They got destroyed. Stop trying to be down with them. Your God is in you. Worship your God. Stop being a whore of Babylon just for some motherfucking scraps or money. That's what it tells you. Read Hosea. And remember this. I got 10 more minutes. Let me just say these last things. Hosea, it says, man fell because lack of knowledge of God. Y'all don't understand. Y'all think y'all following these religious people and these Christian people talking about y'all know God and all this shit, but actually it's if you don't know him personally, because it says the lack of knowledge of him. They don't say to be like him. It didn't say to worship him. They don't say to say what they say. Go read the book yourself and interpret it and find him, man. He's there waiting. When you do, it will be like in the coffin text, Eunice has come home. The man with the missing tooth has come home with his bloody knife. That's what it is. Same thing as the apotheosis with George Washington. He made it to God's status. You have to go through the underworld and the two out and complete it. So, you know, when you meet Lilith and the sexual thing, it's just your encounter to solidify your relationship back with God, because that's your husband. That's your secret lover. He made you and he's fucking you. That's who you started masturbating to. He wanted that. He loved that. But that's not saying you're supposed to do that now as a higher being, because it only works for a certain thing, because all of us put intentions into it, and these intentions is to either malice somebody else or to take somebody that ain't yours or to just fuck out an animal lust. But in reality, we used to astral project and have astral sex. We didn't have regular sex. I told y'all in the Draconian one, it was sex was psychic. And so that's how we actually move. We communicate psychically, but you have to first align yourself in the underworld to get back all your spirits. You know, I do all of this stuff, and I'm going to end it now. I got 2 minutes, and teach it. And I actually don't just talk this shit on YouTube. I do the meditations. People get down with my service. It's $50 a month or $75 a month, and I would teach you all the things to turn you back into who you was, a God. Anyways, you can get in touch with me. I'm on Facebook. You can use the messenger or whatever, or what's up, ask for the number. But I actually do more behind the scenes than I do in these videos, and it's more physical help. And whoever watched this video, if they've seen and they know, they could agree and let people know that's what it is, you know. And there's other people that they sign up for the service and they're pretty much satisfied. So I just want y'all to know it's not just about that. And I want to thank those people that has donated to University of Conscious Science. You know, it's really going to be something big. I'm not just playing no games here. When I finish, this is going to be a whole change in the world, because I'm going to show y'all cells. I'm going to show you what they could do. I have videos that I can't explain yet. And it's just of entities, beings doing remarkable things, and what we could do with ourselves through activation. It's like the Cathara shield. We're going to learn Cathara science and learn how to use the Merkaba, how to fly, like how Israel did. When they holding down them clouds over Israel, that's because they in their Merkabas. There's a bunch of guys meditating and the clouds is there. That's dumb. They not teaching us the mystic science, but I know the mystic science. Angels are showing it to me to show it to y'all. This is the revelation. My time is up right now because my memory's out, but this is all I could record. So I'm going to keep this going and teach y'all about how I got into the purification process and the spiritual means of how this all happens. You know, University of Conscious Science. One love.